this video, we can see what is there in the back of the camera. This camera is a 7D, it's Canon 7D. And I'm gonna go through these parts one by one. As you see here, these are the back of the camera. I'm gonna turn that on so that you can see the monitor, or it was called LCD screen before. Now it looks like a monitor and it's not LCD anymore, and it's called monitor of the camera. So here in the monitor of the camera, that is like the control panel of the other cameras. In some cameras we have the control panel on the top, and this one has that. At the same time it has control panel in the back too. Okay, so you can see that there, and I'm gonna go through these one by one. The first thing that you see here is the viewfinder. When we see the image, the viewfinder of a DSLR camera shows the exact image that is created by the lens, which means that whatever we see here through this viewfinder is exactly what we have in the final image. There is no difference between them. In mirrorless cameras, there could be a difference because what? Because the viewfinder doesn't see the exact thing that is falling on the lens. There are two different parts of the camera. So this is the viewfinder where we look through that. If you are a professional photographer, you shoot looking through the viewfinder. Don't use the live view. We use the live view sometimes. The live view, when you see everything in the back of the camera, is not whatever you want to do all the time. So this is when you want to shoot live view. Okay, you don't want to do that. The first reason is that takes the battery, the energy of the battery, and your battery dies easily and fast. So that's why you don't want to use that, especially when you are in a trip and you want to shoot like more photos. You are in a wedding, you want to shoot 100 photos, 200, 1,000 photos. You don't want to lose the battery. So look through the viewfinder. It's better, it's easier, and all of these settings that you see here, you can see them under the image, under the frame, through the viewfinder. Alright, so the first thing was the viewfinder, and then we get to the one-touch JPEG and RAW direct print. That is a good thing here. So when you push this button, sometimes, let's say that you are in a wedding and you want to shoot photos, you are a professional photographer. Right after the ceremony, you want to have a slideshow. Then you need to have some small images so that you can create a slideshow. You don't want to have all of those raw images. Raw images are really, really huge. I will go through the raw and how to shoot raw and process them later. But raw images are huge, are really big, large files. Okay, so those large files are not gonna be useful in creating a slideshow. Right after ceremony, you need to have some small images so that you can upload them, create a slideshow, send them to your like Facebook or to Instagram. There must be small. When you push this button, at the same time it creates two types of images. Just pushing one button, it creates you two sets of images, one large and raw images and one small and JPEG. Okay, so it creates them for you. If you have large images here, change the size of the large to small so that when you push the button, it says raw plus small. Okay, raw plus small JPEG. You use those small ones. They are exactly the same images, but you don't need to process them. If you shoot in RAW, you need to process them to turn them to JPEG, it takes time, but you don't want to do that when you want to create that slideshow or you want to upload them to internet. Next button there is the Q button. Q means quick control button. So you push the Q button and you have this turn on. So the only thing that changes is what? When you push the Q button, push it one more time if it doesn't work. So it looks like when I push it once, it just shows this panel, and then when I shoot it twice, that green line appears around the box. So when it appears there, that's what makes your job really, really easy. Why? Because you push the button and now you can navigate around this. This is so easy. Now you can change all of the settings from here. Okay, so use this one. Take advantage of this one. Some cameras don't have Q button. So this is the Q, and there is another button here. Under that it says info button. So you can see that when I push the info button, some information appears here. So this is the information above your image. What is the color space of your camera? It's Adobe RGB. White balance. What is the white balance shift or bracketing? We're gonna talk about bracketing the white balance or bracketing the exposure later. But it says 0. It means that I haven't touched that. I haven't changed that to anything. Color temperature is on 36 Kelvin. It means that whatever I shoot is gonna look like blue if I shoot it in the daylight. We're gonna go through the Kelvin of the light and color of light and color casts later. Okay, so these are different information about your file, and this is the when you want to get the camera even, and you don't want to tilt the camera so it doesn't show anything. There's a compass here. It looks like it doesn't know what to do because the camera, let me turn the camera a little bit. If it's not tilted, yeah, and then we push the button again, we get to this page. So info button, you can push it 3 times. The first one shows the details about your file, about your image, and the second one and third time opens what? This here, that same information about before shooting. So I want to check something else, maybe other than this it has other things. Let me see if there is something else. No, in the info area. All right, this is the next one is the picture style selection. So under the under the Q button we have menus. I will go through menus later. Okay, I will go through all menus again. Under that, picture styles. So whenever this is on and you want to just disappear, push the shutter release button halfway. Gets dark. And then I'm going to push this button. This is for picture styles. This is when you want to change your image after shooting. You want to change it to different styles. It's like a lab after shooting inside the camera, like Lightroom inside the camera, and you can make your images a slightly, for example, red or warmer, or make it like a little bit blue, but don't touch them here, because whatever you do here is gonna be in the pictures file, and when you download them, they're gonna be downloaded with the same picture styles that you have used. So I don't use them. I put that on the standard. So don't touch them. For now, we don't want to use them. That is not for a professional photographer. And after that, we get to that info here. That info and quality were, quick button were together. They are not the same, but this one only shows the information. But when you want to have access to that information, you have to push Q button so that you can navigate around this. And the last one on the bottom, Oh no, after the info, we get to playback button. So we push the playback button, we can see the image that is there in the card. And then the last one is to, there's a trash can there for deleting images. I know that everybody knows what that is. So here on the other side, you can see that this is the monitor of the camera, and from the top, that the first thing, that is the magnifier. So when you have a photograph, or hopefully I have a photo here, yes, I have a photo here, and when you have that photo open there in playback mode, you can push the magnifier to see it larger. Okay, you can see it larger, and then you can see it smaller. Next to that is the magnifier minus buttons, makes it smaller. So these are playback zoom out and playback zoom in. This is the autofocus mode. So that button is for autofocus. When you push it, autofocus on. And this one, start and stop, that is for live view. So when you, as I did it before, when you push it, it turns the live view on, because the camera is on a table and the light is not going through that. In the live view, you can see only black there. Then when you turn this button and rotate it, this is for video. Now you are shooting video. So that is for video shooting. And whenever you want to change it to video, don't forget to turn it back to the camera. This is what you see here is a multi-controller. Means that when you push the Q button here and that green appears there, with this one you can move around. You can navigate through the screen here and select what settings you want to change, okay? And this here is a light sensor, the little circle there that you see, and the big circle here, that is the set button here in the middle, and this quick control dial. So this is a dial that changes things, but I have to push Q first, that green thing appears there. Then with this one also, I can change whatever is in the box. You see the box was 1/3, 0, I turn it, plus 1/3 or plus 1 or plus 2. This is exposure compensation button. So there are two ways to get to exposure compensation. One of them is the button that you saw on the top of the camera. You push the exposure compensation button and you change it from those dials. This is much easier. I love Canon for this because